Trump is now asked about the recent Indian strikes against targets in Pakistan and Pakistani-controlled Kashmir. Speaking to reporters at the White House, Trump says he has just heard about the intensification of hostilities that had occurred in recent hours. "It's a shame we just heard about it," he says, "that they've been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting for many decades and centuries. I just hope it ends very quickly." Asked what progress U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East Steve Witkoff has made during his trips to Russia when it comes to ending the war in Ukraine, Trump says a lot. "Russia wanted to take all of Ukraine and they've stopped. That is a lot of progress," he says. "If we weren't here, they would be fighting to take the whole country, and they are not doing that. I think that is a lot of progress." The U.S. leader is again teasing a big announcement he will make later this week. "I said before in our meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada that we have a very big announcement to make," he says. "It's not about trade, it's about something else, and it will be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country. That will take place within the next few days." Donald Trump is now giving a news conference from the White House. He begins by mentioning the ceasefire between the U.S. and Yemen's Houthis and says, "We're taking the word of the Houthis. They didn't want any more, and I understand that. They have decided that they don't want to do this anymore." The Houthis have been firing at Israel and at shipping in the Red Sea since Israel began its war against Hamas in Gaza in 2023, after Hamas's 7th of October attacks that year, and this year, since Trump returned to power, the U.S. has intensified strikes on the Houthis to stop attacks on Red Sea shipping. Earlier, Oman commented on this and said it mediated a ceasefire deal between the Houthis and the U.S. Donald Trump has said he had a great meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney in Washington today, adding the discussion went very well. During their meeting earlier, Trump commended Carney on his election victory. But when asked if there was anything Carney could say that would get the U.S. leader to lift tariffs on Canada, he replied, "No." Carney also reiterated that Canada was not for sale when asked about Trump's comments about making his country the 51st state. "We've been hearing in the last few minutes that U.S. President Donald Trump will give more details to the media about the deal struck with the Houthis in Yemen later this evening. He'll speak live at 22:00 UK time, alongside his envoy Steve Witkoff. As we've been reporting, after ramping up U.S. strikes on the Houthis, with support from the UK, Trump revealed today that the Houthis have agreed to stop strikes on U.S. shipping in the Red Sea. The deal was mediated by Oman, see 19.55 post. Mark Carney is now asked if he has told Donald Trump to stop calling Canada the 51st state. "He's the president and he's his own person. I would go back to showing the difference between a wish and reality. I've been very clear publicly and consistently and was clear again in the Oval Office. The president understands that we are having a negotiation between sovereign nations and that we will only pursue and accept a deal that is in the best interests of Canada." He also says no decisions were made on tariffs during his meeting but cautions that it's a complex negotiation. Asked what specifically gave him any indication that the U.S. leader was willing to renegotiate a new trade deal with Canada and drop tariffs, Carney says he's willing to have that negotiation. "As I've emphasized, it's a complex negotiation and there will be zigs and zags and difficult aspects to it. But the prospect is there and we discussed it in more detail. And as I said, we'll be following that up both between officials, but also he and I, in the coming weeks."